Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. And our first story today is a rattling mixture of Karen store and electric scooter. So let's get started. Lady runs over my foot because I wouldn't fetch motor oil for her. I keep my keys on a lanyard, and I usually wear it around my neck because it's easier to grab it and go when I need to get my car going again. And I guess because it's blue, a lot of people think it's an employee tag. Cast. Me, Angry Lady is AL, Confused Worker is CW, and my hero is MH. I had just gotten off work, so I was wearing a black shirt with my company logo on it and a pair of black jeans and black shoes. I had my purse sitting on my lap and my lanyard around my neck. I was waiting to pick up a pile of Christmas gifts and was exhausted from work. So I was pretty much dozing in this chair they had in their pickup area. This is where I get spotted. And that was when I heard it. AL, wake up, lazy girl. This sharp, angry voice, and I opened my eyes to see a woman who, if I hadn't heard her speak, would have thought she was a sweet old granny. She had on this white and green striped shirt, a pair of jeans, and lots of necklaces with her gray hair pulled back in a ponytail and cute little bangs. She had 3 of those cheap little necklaces that you find at kids' birthday parties around her neck. Me. What? I was like half awake. AL, you need to help me out now. Get off your lazy butt and help me. Me. What are you talking about? She paid my question no mind. Go and get me motor oil. What? No, go get it yourself. AL is now furious. My son said that our car needs oil, and I'm not going all the way across the store for it. Do your job and go get it. The auto center was pretty far away, but the motor carts, from what I've seen, are pretty fast, so it's not like she had to walk. Me. 1, I don't work here. I don't have to listen to you. 2, the employees here aren't dogs. They won't go fetch for you. AL is shouting, you don't talk to me like that. Go get my oil, and then I want to speak to your manager. Me. I don't work here. I remembered the lanyard and took it off to show her it only had my keys and that it had a local college's name on it, since I got it at a job fair at school. This isn't from the store. AL, refusing to look at my lanyard, no, that's bullcrap. Do as you're told, or I'll drag you to your manager myself. She grabbed my arm and tried to roll along with me, but I didn't want to deal with it, so I ran and pulled my arm away. With what little energy I had from my mini nap, I took off running. She tried to follow me, but was able to weave my way through a few of the clothes racks and hid from her as she shouted at me. I roamed the store a bit, looking for junk I probably didn't need but could use, mostly avoiding her. Even made my way to the auto center and picked up a tire pressure gauge since mine had broken. I found myself in the craft aisle and had at this point stuck my earbuds in because there was a screaming kid in the area. I'm the oldest of 6, and I work in a restaurant, as well as babysit. You can only take so much angry child. This also meant that I couldn't hear anything. So I'm staring at some paints when I see her out of the corner of my eye. At least her cart. She's really close to me, and before I can step away, she ran over my freaking foot. I don't know if any of you have ever had your foot run over by a motor cart, but it freaking hurts. It's not a very heavy piece of machinery, apparently, about 25 pounds according to Google, but it hurts when that weight's on your bony as F foot, especially with the 120 pounds this woman was adding to it, and the fact that I wasn't ready for this. So I screamed. I was in shock, and it felt like she'd shattered my foot, especially when her back wheels went over it again, and I screamed again. I had to sit down on one of the shelves and rip my shoe off, trying to alleviate some of the pain, while the AL was yelling at me. AL, that'll teach you to disrespect a customer, you little bee. Now go get my motor oil. For the last effing time, I don't work here, and you'll be lucky if I don't press charges on you. Finally, an actual employee, CW, came jogging around the corner wearing a vest that had the logo on the corner and his name tag clipped to his chest. He looked entirely confused, which made sense. There was a crying 19-year-old taking off her shoe while this woman sat in a motor cart screaming at her. CW, are you okay, ma'am? He came over to me first as I was pulling off my sock. My foot was swelling. There was a little blood because my toenail had dug into my foot and cut it. AL, I need your manager. She should be fired. CW looked at me, confused. Me trying to catch my breath, starting to cry. I have the worst time stopping. She ran AL started shouting again. She wouldn't get my motor oil. Get me your manager. The worker looked like he didn't know what to do. He had one person sobbing and sounding like she was choking. I do a weird gasping thing when I'm trying to catch my breath. It's hard to explain. While another was screaming at him. That's when she came in. My hero. The mother of the screaming child from before who'd apparently been screaming because he fell down. Don't believe that for a second, mostly since I heard, "Want it," but I digress. She looked angry for me. MH, what the hell's the matter with you? She was pointing at AL. Why the hell would you run over some random girl's foot? She's an employee. She needs to learn not to ignore customers. She doesn't even have a name tag, you idiot. She's wearing a uniform for another company. What the hell made you think she worked here? She is wearing a name tag. Look. She reached over and yanked my lanyard off my neck, holding it out to MH like she won or something. See? MH, snatching my lanyard and showing it to her. Does that say Walmart to you? AL finally got a good look and realized they were just keys, and the letters on the lanyard spelled out the initials of the college on it. She turned white. MH turned to CW. Get your manager and a first aid kit. Now! She sounded furious. CW ran off, looking a little relieved to have a direction to run into, and MH began to do the mom thing where she examined my foot and talked to me in a nicer voice. AL tried to scoot her way out of the store, but was blocked by the greeter. She was trying to take the motor cart, which is a big no-no. The manager came and asked if I wanted police to get involved or if I needed an ambulance. I said no. I just want to get my things, an ice pack, and go. They let me sit in that comfy chair in the pickup waiting area and gave me a 50% discount on my pickup stuff, letting me take the stuff I'd already picked up when I was walking around for free. I waited until the swelling in my foot had gone down and watched the crap storm as AL tried to convince the manager that I was his insubordinate employee and that I needed to be fired. He instead banned her from the store and told her if she ever came near his employees, she'd get the police called on her. MH got her husband to take the kids home and come back for her and sat with me to make sure I was okay and could get home. It wasn't my driving foot, so I could drive okay, and I was able to limp my way to my car. My foot was a fun shade of black, purple, and a little blue for a little while, but my mom and stepdad, both in the medical field, don't think it's broken. It's been sore, but I probably won't end up taking it to the doctor. Best Christmas gift I ever got, though, was watching the angry lady get her motor cart turned off and watch her go off, jumping around and stomping. And our second story. And our fourth story. You're 15. You can't work here. Get out before I call security. Some backstory. I look younger than I actually am. I'm 18 but look 15 or 16. My dad owns a relatively large company in the UK with 50 or 60 workers. I've worked for my dad for a couple years, but only the other executives knew I was his son. None of the interns or any of the other workers knew this. The cast is me, babyface kid, dad, CEO, chief financial officer is CFO, office worker number 1 is OF1, and office worker number 2 is OF2. So my dad's office has 4 floors, and executive floor, 2 floors of office space for all the workers, and a floor for storage and parking. I work on the 2nd floor, and my dad's on the 4th, so I rarely see him around the office, or any of the other executives for that matter. I used to just organize the storage room, but when I turned 18, I began working in the actual offices. On my first day, people started staring, but that was really it. It all kicked off on my 3rd day when OF1 came up to me and said, "So, where do you go to school?" Me, actually, I don't go to school anymore. OF1 called over OF2 and both of them looked at me as if I just straight lied to the Queen of England. That's not true. Where do you go to school, bud? I just told OF1 I don't go to school anymore. OF1 and OF2 looked annoyed at this response and started to get agitated. You look 15. I can assure you I'm 18, sir. You're too young to be working here. Stop lying to us. You're 15. Get out before I call security. I just got up and walked over to the kitchen where I found the CFO. OF1 and OF2 went off to call security. Ma'am, OF1 and OF2 are claiming I'm only 15. Can you go get my dad? The CFO nodded and headed to the elevator while I walked back to my desk and sat and waited for the 2 OFs to come back. Eventually, they come back with security, and I'm wondering, what's taking Dad so long? The security guard strutted over and said, "Come on, let's see your ID then." I'd left my wallet in the car. My fault, I know. So I told him I didn't have it on me, but he cut me off and started to pull me out of my chair. At this time, my dad and the CFO come around the corner, and my dad instantly yelled, "What the F is going on?" My dad gets easily upset. The security guard was startled and let go, leaving me to fall on the floor while OF1 and OF2 stood there staring at me. CEO, you startled me. Just getting rid of this kid, nothing to worry about. I suggest you leave that kid alone, as he's my son. The security guard and everyone else on the floor went dead silent, and at that time, OF1 and OF2 went back to their desks sheepishly. I was moved to the executive floor just in case this happened again, as my dad doesn't have time to deal with crap like this on a regular basis. The security guard was let off with a warning, OF1 was sacked for starting the unneeded commotion, and OF2 was let off the hook to my disappointment. Edit, I'm disappointed he was fired, not that OF2 was let off the hook. This happened about 6 months ago, and I still work there to this day, with an office shared with the CFO's son. We get along great, so it's really a chill environment to work in. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.